Hey guys, I just wanted to say a couple of things before we get to this awesome documentary. Don't let it be difficult to realize that, yet again, you know, everything that we have been told is not maybe a direct outright lie, but we have been lied to about everything on some level. And this documentary is going to show you that we've been lied to on, our understanding of how a virus, right, can get you sick. And the definition of what a virus is, we need to understand that. And I think a lot of people that maybe watch these and see my stuff understand the concepts of natural law. And one of the biggest things that you can do for yourself, not only in understanding what you're about to see, but just in all life in general, is to admit to yourself and to creation, creator, and self that I was wrong. You must say those words. When you can own those words, and when a new concept is presented to you that is far more provable and plausible than what you currently believe, and you want to hold to it simply because it's what you currently believe, you can find freedom in the phrase, I was wrong. And you can let go of things when you're presented with evidence that's just simply better. And it's hard to change. I understand that. And that's one of the biggest things that we have to overcome as humans, waking people up that don't want to be woken up. It's either wake up or be completely enslaved. I don't think that it floats through the air and we breathe it in. That's what they can't prove and really has never been proven. And you'll see that in this documentary. So that means, how are we getting sick? And then ultimately their main goal is to let them inject us with stuff. And we have for years and years and years and years. They've acclimated us to it and they've poisoned us the whole way. And we've just become resilient and gotten stronger. So now they've turned up the notch on the poisoning. We have to stop letting them poison us. We have to take back our understanding of reality, basically. We are far from it. This documentary will help shake us out of our slumber a little bit, put our thinking caps on again, be big boys and girls, and do some critical thinking, self-awareness, and intuition. All of these things are going to be involved. Watch this video, make your own decisions, but having some information will absolutely help you 100%. So I hope this helps. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
In this current state that we're in, there is a great effort to provoke a fear response in the population. And that in and of itself is going to create ill health. And when you get into other realms of physics, we can even explain at great length how that will create very exact changes in our biology and even become a self-fulfilling prophecy that will create the very symptoms that are then blamed on a microbe that's so-called going through the population.
Thoughts create things, good and bad. Our thoughts are very powerful.
We have so much trauma installed within us, potentially accidental or inherited intergenerationally from previous generations who, for example, experienced the horrors of war. So when we have that installed in us, we haven't resolved our own traumas, it is so easy to trigger the fear response, under the auspices of trying to save us from deadly particles.
When we're so fixated on the germ theory, we stop looking at other causes and we never really find a solution.
Very interesting for me personally to recognize that this is spiritual warfare and really sorcery. The power of words as spells, as literal spells that are cast, and neurolinguistic programming and other areas of psychology have explored.
Now, if you say, why don't you just show me the teeming particles in the lung fluid of the sick person? They say things like, well, there's not enough virus to find in the lung fluid, which then begs the question of, if there's not enough virus to find, what makes you think it's going to kill us all? They say that this is a wrong way of thinking because viruses are only intracellular pathogens, meaning you obviously, silly Tom, can't find loose viruses, free viruses, because they're all only inside the cell And so you could only find them by looking at cells. It has to get free in order to be transmissible. That's what they say.
From what I've been able to understand about the way things really work, it's all about frequency, and consciousness guides frequency.
You know, speaking of resonant frequencies, I just met Veda Austin.
I would simply just get my petri dish of the water that had helped heal my body, and I would set some kind of an intention, and I would freeze it, and I would see what happened. I started to take influences. For example, I can take a photograph of a person, and I put the petri dish of water on top of that photograph, and it will show the person's face, that person's features, and each one is relative to that photo.
There is no existence of a virus, and unfortunately you need a child to be able to point to the emperor and say he's got no clothes on.
Once we can understand that it's a model that is bankrupt, that's built on fraud and misinterpretation, then we can liberate ourselves from it and move towards something much more truthful.